Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 5, The Door. Why is it called The Door?
I didn't get the... They're always so cryptic.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it's something the High Sparrow was talking about. I don't know.
By the way, no High Sparrow, no King's Landing. Only a rare King's Landing free episode.
Yeah. Only fictionalized versions of King's Landing were present.
That's right. That's significant.
Episode.
We did get to, you see that. That's something that we got to get to, Arya watching the play. And it was interesting just to get different versions of reality. Like, you know, because in that one, Tyrion's a monster and Ned is a, you know, power-hungry buffoon, right?
Yeah.
And
I can't wait for the What the Flick review of that play. Actually.
and then Joffrey
6.5.
Joffrey is you know, just a young and fairly innocent and thrust into an unwinnable situation, a sympathetic character.
You can understand how people would come to that conclusion,
And
except for the fact that I think he yelled for him to cut off his head.
And Sansa
That got lost.
Sansa is a, you know, is a woman of low moral character, you know. She's sort of sex crazed and yeah, I mean, you know, so it's everybody and that version, because nobody knows what's happening with anyone else. There's no news, right? It's all so and that's the message that got to Bravos.
It's amazing it was as accurate as it was, I guess,
In a sense,
across the
that's right.
narrow
I guess
sea.
the name's right, yeah.
Yeah. When in reality, Sansa has been gone through how many seasons we've had? 6? 6 seasons trying not to have sex.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite. But look, this episode, it was my least favorite of this season.
Really?
Yeah, not that much happened when you really, really break it down. And with the places that it happened are the annoying places, if you ask me. And we'll get into that in a second. But God damn it, Game of Thrones is so good that even my least favorite episode has continued to haunt me for from the moment that it ended to this moment.
I think I mean, you make you say a lot of dumb things, but
I hear you, brother.
but
Yeah, regular Ned Stark over
I
here.
don't like. I got it. I think it's almost a wholly different kind of episode. First of all, based on reading reaction, I don't think there's no science to what I'm about to say at all. I think it was many people's favorite episode.
A lot of people did like it.
A lot of people were really, really gripped by it. Were really moved by it, and I think we learned a lot along the way. I think a lot happened. But anyway, that's a pointless argument. Before we finish with that play, let's talk about Arya. Let's just get that out of the way because I want to make sure we get to it, and we're apt to forget about it. Is she being tested, or is this a real assignment to kill someone?
Well,
Could be both.
It could be both, but she is definitely being tested, right? And they did not send her to that play where her family looks ridiculous by accident.
Right.
The test is more the play than I think the execution of that actress.
But also that it's Cersei that she's supposed to kill is obviously
so. What's passing the test?
doing it.
I think not caring about the play is passing the test. And she clearly cares about the play.
But I think killing a woman that you think is totally innocent and shouldn't be killed is the test.
Right. Or
both.
Or is the test, look, we're making it Cersei but she's not that bad. Can you distinguish it? Can you leave, right, or I guess we're saying the same thing. Can you leave your Arya Starkness out of it? But if you're leaving your Arya Starkness out of it, you might go ahead and not kill her.
Yeah.
Because the fact that she's playing Cersei could make her angry, but they know she's going to go backstage. They know she's going to find out more about it. Half of me thinks that the test is don't kill her. Like let's see, because they have different plans for her, or their plans are...
The servant doesn't question.
I got it. The servant doesn't question.
I have a prediction. I think, maybe this isn't
By
controversial.
the way, I just predicted both things. So
Yeah, exactly. So you're safe.
Yeah.
Although in Iowa, that didn't work out for me. So I think she has to fail the test. Because if she passes the test, whatever that means, and becomes fully a member of the Faceless Men, she's useless,
That's right.
I think, going forward. She has to fail to get out of there with her training.
Right. The question is, does she fail? Is she thrown out, or are they like, you've come a long way, you failed in the right way?
They're threatening to kill her if she fails.
They're not going to kill her.
I think she's going to take a bunch of faces, stuff them in her bag, get Needle, and get the hell out of there. And then hopefully rejoin society.
Those faceless guys don't appear to be the kind of guys to let her get away with that.
Yeah.
It's not like,
it'll be an issue.
Well, yeah, we'll never catch her.
No,
You got to run.
They're training her for something bigger. That's like sort of.
Oh my God! There was a shot in one of the like the teasers for the season, of her running and jumping off of a roof in Bravos. She's gonna get chased by the Faceless Men. I don't know which camera I'm looking at, but whichever you are, she's gonna be chased by the Faceless
Those
Men.
cameras are all fake.
She didn't leave her little. What's her sword's name?
Needle.
She didn't leave. Right. She didn't leave.
No, we're not having this conversation.
Right.
She's not going to become faceless, nameless. That's not going to
She
happen.
has no desire, true.
We
but-
already know it, and you saw it in her reaction to that play. She's nowhere near faceless and nameless. When they get to her family, she's like, "Arr!" Right? And it's never going to stick, right? So I don't know the manner in which it's not going to stick, but it's not going to stick.
Okay.
Okay. And now, are they just assassins? Are they just take money for assassins?
And then now,
Yeah,
you know what's unfortunate about it? They were one of the coolest characters in one of the seasons, right? When Arya had them kill the 3 people, which she grossly misused. She'd picked 3 better people to kill. But anyway, and they were so freaking cool. But now they've kind of bored me with them. Like they've become mundane, and there's a lot of tasks, and it never leads anywhere.
They're like Luca
and then I
Brasi.
realized I don't want to be nameless and faceless. So even though it was like a cool assassin, now I don't even want to be that cool assassin. Because what's the point of being a cool assassin if you're not you?
I don't think they're just assassins. They do provide euthanasia for suffering people, and we don't know the criteria they use to establish which
So
cases
they're like
to take
Hamas.
and not
They're
take.
terrorists, but they do run the schools.
I guess.
But I mean, they got.
They did free the slaves of Valyria.
No, I got all that, but like he said, the price has been paid. Like so, somebody the other actress was like, "Hey, here's 10,000."
No.
Maybe, we don't know.
When they say price, they mean an act has been committed that they wanted, etc. Because those guys are not about the money. I mean, they overthrew the masters or whatever. So that was a.
So you think the price has been paid, meaning she's done something so despicable?
No, that somebody did something for them, and hence they owe a favor or whatever it is.
but they're like,
but it's not money. It's
Okay,
not
it's not
how it
money, but I
works.
mean, still, somebody did something for them, and so they're killing somebody who doesn't deserve to die.
Oh, we don't know that
She
at
should
all.
leave him.
A servant is to serve.
He said,
not the question.
but no, he did say, do only the wicked?
Yeah.
Does death
Yeah.
come only to the wicked?
But that's to get her to shut up and just do what you're supposed to do.
I don't think we know. I think they might be scumbags.
They might be.
No, that sounds crazy.
Or
The
they might be-
assassins, scumbags? No way.
Well, look, we have there's order and
But I
there's
actually do
chaos,
believe
and then
that.
there's like strict neutrality, which infuriates us here at TYT. Maybe they're the CNN of the political groups. I don't know.
So they're either Hamas or CNN.
But
Yeah.
by the way, that
Wolf
actually kind
Blitzer.
of fits.
He has no
Faceless
desire.
and nameless. Wolf Blitzer, right? like, oh, I am Faceless Wolf Blitzer giving
Yeah.
you the news.
Kind of looks like a mask.
Yeah. So, look, we obviously don't know what to make of him, but at least the good part of this episode, other than the emotionally gripping, what it did to our psyche right at the end, is that you got a lot of the origin stories. So now you know how Bravos was formed. It was formed by those faceless men, right?
They say.
And what did they do? They were slaves, but
They were slaves in Valyria.
But they taught themselves,
One guy started killing people, taught others how to do it, yeah.
Yeah, and
And included both killing the masters and also killing slaves who didn't want to go on anymore.
oh, is that right?
Slaves
If I
didn't
remember
want it.
correctly. That like had just suffered so much that they didn't want to live anymore.
Oh, that's where the euthanasia thing comes
Kind
in.
of. I think so.
But I'm officially, I was unofficially before. I'm officially bored of them.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's
should
what I'm
move on.
saying. They took
Move
the
on.
coolest characters and bored us a little
Yeah.
bit with them.
Yeah.
Anyway, last thing. Are they the guys who destroyed Valeria?
No, the Doom destroyed Valyria, and we don't know exactly what caused that.
like people who speak only cryptically. Like, I don't mind an occasional cryptic riddle,
Oh, I love the cryptic riddle.
Right.
But it's got to be like Varys. Pepper it in.
Right, at some point you have to say, where's the pepper? You know?
Yeah.
Are we out of cheese? Like, you have to have something.
It's a declarative statement.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The fight scene was good though. I like the no hands fighting against Arya.
Nobody's going to die there. It's not interesting.
Okay.
All right, so I guess let's just get to hold the door.
Hold the door.
That was emotional in I think in many ways. The suffering that he experienced right then, the suffering that he has experienced for 30 years, from childhood to losing his ability to speak because he's, I guess, so traumatized by knowing what his final moment is going to be, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And waiting for it forever, having no life while you just wait for your.
So we think that that's been in his memory the whole time.
In some
Yeah.
capacity, whether it's at the front or the back, but
He may not know how.
his worlds exploded when he was exposed to the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had indicated, I mean, the three-eyed raven or whatever kept telling him, if you stay too long, you can be damaged in some way. Maybe this is a form of that. Like, I mean, Hodor had no training whatsoever, and suddenly he's hearing things from different timelines. He's being controlled through time. It just broke him.
It broke him, and it broke him because Bran can't be disciplined.
Yeah, so I have two things about that. But first, before I say that, if you notice,
Can't
Hodor,
demonstrate
before all of it went down, like right as it was going down, before Bran took him over, right, was going like, oh no, something like this. Like
Yeah.
he was in a,
He's a coward.
No, and he,
Understandably.
no, because he knew this is it. It's
Oh, you
coming.
think so?
Right.
This is it. This
Yeah.
is the moment, right? And it's like he'd never been like that before. More, he's stone-faced. In that case, he was like, oh,
Well, he freaked out in the tower the first
did freak out
time
in
that
the tower,
Bran took over his body. It was because he was freaking out and he kept yelling Hodor. And they told him, you got to stop Hodoring, Hodor.
So maybe he thought that was it. Maybe he thought he was going to have to hold that door.
Maybe.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because that
Right.
was they were threatened at that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But
now let's analyze the culpability of Bran, because you brought up, that he was undisciplined. Remember, Bran took over Hodor, so Bran is the one holding the door for Hodor. And so that is an act.
No, I don't think at the end it was. His eyes weren't like glazed over. I think it was Hodor. I think he initially got him up and got him going, but I think that once they started running, I think it was Hodor.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm not sure.
that's a
I'm
good
honestly
point,
not
because
sure.
I was going to say otherwise. It's an act of extreme selfishness.
No, because Bran.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Bran is. I mean, he bears some. I was reading an article about the kid who plays him. Was like he was like, yeah, Bran ruined that kid's life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, but I definitely think Hodor, that was his own call. Then he was fulfilling his destiny, what had been clear to him, but it had robbed him of his entire life, and there was great tragedy there. But now. So yes, Bran was told by Max von Sydow not to touch, not to warg or go back. Is that what it's called? Not to,
That's using the green sight, I
whatever,
think
not
it is.
to,
or
not
green
to go
sea
back in the
abilities.
past, and you can't do it too much. But and he did it. He didn't listen to him. But I mean, sometimes you need to tell your kid, you cannot play in the street. You can't just go, hey, no playing in the street.
Yeah,
right.
And I would actually go further.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if this is this monumentally important,
Right.
and especially if if he gets touched, everyone dies, right? It's got to come with an instruction manual,
Yeah.
right? And it has to be very specific, not like, hey, don't go in the street, don't go in the street. No, like if you go in the street, that guy touches you, he can come through the door and murder us all. So don't do it,
Right,
right?
totally. So right.
How did
so
he
Max
see
von
him
Sydow
anyway?
not at least say, hey, if you see the Night King,
Run.
right, just
Yes.
get out.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, like the instruction manual of, here are the 3 things that get us all murdered.
Right,
Okay, so if you see the Night King, out, he can't touch you. If he touches you,
Yeah.
everything goes.
And don't feed him
Right.
after midnight, because then
Now,
we're all doomed.
Right, now, all that stuff, but that's the thing about Game of Thrones and fate, and what role does it play? Because Max Van Dudy, whatever his name
Max
is.
von Sydow.
Von Sydow, sorry. Von Sydow, okay. Von Duty? It was unacceptable. Okay, anyway, Max, he knows he's going to die. He knows Bran is going to take over for him, whatever that means, right? So this is the weird thing where you're like, oh, I know I should tell him not to touch that thing because then he'll get touched and we'll all die, but I'm supposed to die, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
but as he said, am I ready? No, we're not
Clearly not ready.
We're not taking 3 years.
Yeah.
Take 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked the whole Hodor thing. It's a great example of, it's like a character we can associate with who, despite all that's happened to him, seems like a happy person generally, who his life is thrown away to cover for a mistake of a rich, wealthy, powerful
right.
person. And there's so many people that have died as a result of this. Like, we focus on, oh, Sansa had this bad thing happen, or Theon had this bad thing happen, or thousands of regular people have been slaughtered.
I mean, she
And he's an example.
betrayed him, but Tyrion's love and Tyrion's girlfriend, prostitute, right? I mean, but she was powerless, right?
Yeah.
Got caught up in the mix between 2 powerful people, dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
By Tyrion, a character we love.
Tyrion, a character we love, and maybe at that point there was some degree of justice to that, but still,
probably not.
But probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But remember, she's a prostitute. So, I mean, his dad was right. That's prostitute's prostitute, right? And so to kill her for something that she was not in a position to avoid necessarily, given where she was born, and like, he shouldn't have killed her, of course. And when you made the point about Hodor, which I hadn't quite crystallized in the way that you formulated it, it made my heart heavy, right? And so, and it actually also made me feel guilty, because part of the reason that I thought this was not as consequential an episode is it ends with a relatively inconsequential character being killed, and that's supposed to be a big deal. But doesn't that betray our bias as well, or my bias too? Like,
I think just yours, because I think that was as powerful a moment as they've had. I mean, that was sort of really emotional, and I think John's point is dead on as to what that means, is the manner in which the lords, the rich and the powerful.
Oh, to be fair to me,
just because he couldn't be disciplined for a little bit.
And I like being fair to me.
That's literally no one else on the planet uses that phrase.
But it's kind of a fun
It's a
phrase.
great phrase.
Okay, is that I know why I think Hodor is inconsequential, not because like, oh, he's poor, I do declare, who cares, right? No, it's because we know he's not going to save the planet, right?
Right.
He's not a relevant character in the game, right? So Tyrion is, Varys is, Littlefinger is, Bran is, but clearly Hodor isn't. Right?
Although he does have a part to play.
And he played his part, but the part that still sticks with me is when they do this to his cheek, and you
suffers.
see, that just crystallizes his suffering. But John's point is such a good one, man. Because some of the characters are not going to save the whole Westeros or the whole planet or whatever, we zoom, and because there's so many deaths, we zoom past them. But it really is like, who cares? It reminds me of all those Jane Austen movies where everybody would like to go back to that time. Oh, I'd like to go back to... No, you wouldn't. There's a 98% chance you'd be one of the peasants, not one of the people in the movie.
Getting run over by a carriage.
Right.
Well, we should also recognize that the children of the forest, that Leaf or whatever her name is, Bark, I don't know, she willingly gives her life when she theoretically could have escaped, maybe, but probably not.
Like in Aliens.
Exactly. Yeah, like the exact same thing. And then in a kind of brutal death scene. It was like something out of Walking Dead. And then also we see Summer die.
Summer, yeah, we get lost.
Just to hold them off for a second or two.
Another dog.
Yeah, they're dropping fast.
Real quick, I do want to say one, because I just, as we have this conversation about Tyrion, and I'm not going to come down on, yes, he should have killed his girlfriend, but the real villain there was Tywin. And remember that Tyrion at that point was, wasn't really powerful. And he's never been that kind of powerful, because he was always mocked, marginalized, different, little, ostracized, and his power had been completely taken away. He was in fact imprisoned, and only Varys letting him out even let him.
He was about to be executed.
He was about to be executed, and she had put him there.
So that is a fair
that's
point.
true.
It's not,
She
it
did put him there.
He wasn't just like, I can't believe you slept with my dad.
Yeah, it's like, no, you were about to kill me, so I'm going to kill you.
Right,
I hear you.
Good point.
To be fair to Tyrion as well as me.
To be fair to Tyrion.
Okay. So now,
Hodor.
So let's get to the most important part in my mind, which is the explanations, right? So this is where I'm super confused. The Children of the Corn. Number one,
Close.
Okay, are they all dead?
Well, we don't
right
know.
now?
We don't know if that was all of them.
We don't know if that's all.
We don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
seems likely, but we don't know for
That
sure.
seemed like their
Holdout.
base of
In
operations.
which case, there weren't that many to begin with.
And so
they're kind of dicks.
They started the walkers, right? But then those guys turned on them as well.
It's like arming like the Mujahideen.
Right.
I guess.
Oh, here we go again with another terrorism analogy. But they took out the Soviet Union. Great. Oh
shit.
No, now they're going to take us out.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know how that's supposed to work. That it looked like she took obsidian and shoved it into his chest, and that made him into the White Walker. But obsidian is also the thing that kills them.
Maybe
I don't know
that's
exactly.
why it's.
I guess
kills
maybe.
Obsidian
And Mira
is
actually
also called dragon
glass.
Dragon glass.
Yeah, and we see Mira actually kill one with obsidian.
Right.
In
How
this
does
episode.
did we know that was dragon glass before? Had they put that in that they put dragon glass on the spears?
I don't know if it's immediately clear. I mean, we know that they don't use metal.
And we know that
children.
because they obviously, if they put it in them, they had some.
They had some, yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been visible in the shot. I'm honestly not sure.
Okay. Oh, the Children of the Corn might have given it to her.
I think that
Yeah,
she's using their weapons.
I think
they're
she's using
using
their
Yeah,
weapons.
and they got close to killing one, but their armor does actually protect them against Dragonglass, apparently.
Oh, I see. So you got to hit them in the flesh, and she hit him in the neck. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So the Children of the Corn that just died. I know it's the forest. Okay. They were actually the first creatures ever, because the first men come and
Right, but
see them.
They were the first
Certainly
creatures
ancient.
there.
there, wherever
And
there
the
is.
giants were around at that
what-
time too, but we don't know if they were who came first.
And we don't know. And one of the I was reading about this. One of the great things about the inconsistencies is this war was fought like 8 to 12,000 years ago.
I think 8,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They say.
They say, but the reason, and then there's some timelines that don't make sense with that because nobody knows. Like
Nobody
it's all just versions of stories told by some group. But like Martin has created a world, which is very cool that he acknowledges. I'm not giving you any backstory because the characters I've created don't know the backstory.
Because it's all
The
oral
Maesters
history.
don't know the whole story. And the Maesters know that every story told, like, maybe.
Yeah. Especially when you think about 8,000 years is thousands of years before any recorded civilization in our own world, where we have the ability to write things down and all that. And so some people are saying the idea that there was a Bran the Builder at that time. There's no way that the Starks have been in power for 8,000 years. So something's wrong there. And I read a crazy theory that says that if theoretically, because the Hodor thing it's not just about Hodor, it demonstrates that Bran can actually change the future by altering things in the past. Because he made Hodor the way he is back in time and changed Hodor. That theoretically, if there's all these Brans throughout history, and there's even a line in the book about how old Nan started to think all the Brans were the same person and she got confused, that maybe it's literally Bran going back in time and affecting people in some way to change history.
Who Bran the Builder is?
Bran the Builder built the wall at the end of the war with the White Walkers to stop them from going south. So that's the first person who
That
made
was
the wall.
first war with the White Walkers.
These guys can
That's
build.
definitely Bran. That's not.
You think
not
so?
even having that conversation. Yeah, based
Maybe.
on what you just explained, it's
It's not my
no-brainer.
theory.
So maybe this also, how this relates to saving the planet is that also interesting based on what the actor said. Maybe Bran has, maybe this is a teaching moment for Bran. Like
He had to
maybe
learn.
Bran is like, wow, this is super powerful, and I have to figure out how to use this.
And not drive people crazy.
Right, not drive people crazy and use this for some degree of good. I can influence things. I can make a difference.
And so, do we know what it means that he's the new Max?
I mean, he's learned enough to use the powers. Theoretically, he could, I think, use it with any weirwood tree. We still haven't gotten any conclusion on the Tower of Joy. I imagine they're going to have to show that. So he's going to continue to use his powers. Other than that, I don't know exactly what it means that he's
I see. He's going to have to continue using it. And are the weirwood trees everywhere, or are they in specific places?
They're just in the north. But there was one in Winterfell. I don't know if it's still standing. It might have been chopped down. But they're scattered around. When the Men of the Night's Watch go north of the wall to give their vows, they do it at a weirwood tree.
I got you. And so the Children of the Forest used to be around the weirwood tree. Then the first men come, and so that's the first men are after the Children of the Forest. They come, at least in that spot, as Ben said, they chop down the weirwood trees.
I think
because
they
one
might
was
have.
killed.
At some point, they start to sort of worship them and the old gods. And I think it's actually, I'm probably getting some of this wrong. There's an entire history book on this stuff. I think that then the Andals come in. I think they do most of the chopping down of the trees. They come after the first men.
and the first men are different.
Different men, yeah. So the first men were there at one point. The Andals come in with bronze or something. I honestly don't remember.
Are the Andals the ancestors of everyone now, not the first men?
Except for, I think, the people in Dorne. I think they're a separate group too.
Because they
I'm
crossed,
not 100% sure.
They crossed at Dorne, they think. There was a
Exactly.
bridge that
But like
that's how they
Jorah
got
the
it.
Andal
Ben
is
dropping
that-
some
yeah, that's
knowledge.
good. And
Okay.
I'm probably wrong on everything I just said.
And
there.
we all know, and so the White Walkers seem like the most ancient, but they're clearly not because they got created by the Children of the Forest.
they were just men, yeah.
So they talk about building the wall, like to keep the White Walkers out. But so these people know how to build because Yara and Theon, they took like 1,000 ships. Here, as I can tell.
And now Euron's going to make them. You know, it's next week,
He's
so
like, no
ships are
big
ready.
deal. Just get going. Let's make ships. I'm like, okay. See you in 2.5 years when your ships are ready to sail.
Right.
Like, first of all, it appears that the Iron Islands are inhabited by 33 people.
That's right. 33 people and no trees as far as I can see. So I don't know how they're going to make
what
those ships.
tree? Have you looked around? Hey, Euron, take a look around.
Yeah.
No trees. So they're going to build all these ships. They're already gone. They're gone, and they're going to
do it
and
so
if they're
fast.
smart, and they are smart, right? Because they knew this was coming, right? They had a plan. They were like, it looked like they had a plan, and they clearly have great loyalty because a lot of these people were like, no, we'll go with, we'll sail with you.
Those were the few superdelegates that supported Euron.
But somehow the people on the ships, like, it would take more guys to run those ships than the 33 guys left behind. Why didn't they just outvote them?
I think that group was just supposed to be the nobles.
I
think. But yeah, it didn't look like a big group.
But I would imagine that they're like, at some point, they're going to be like, so, you know, Euron is evil, and we have to worry about him, and hopefully we'll get a chance to kill him when he killed our father. His idea, not a terrible one.
Yeah.
About going to Daenerys.
Oh, no, it's a great idea. And so I like their little form of democracy they had, because that's, I thought for sure this ends with a battle to the death, right? But it didn't. They just voted.
No,
right?
they have. They're the only, I read also, that's the only democracy. They actually, it's a limited democracy. It's just the nobles. But the kings, and that's so, I tweeted to you, John, I love that Euron was late.
It could have been done by the time he got there.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the King's Moot started. I mean, you come, you kill your brother with the whole purpose of this, and then they fucking start the thing without you. Like, suppose you got there 40 minutes later.
No, I got stuck on the other end of it. That's a great point. The other end of it is like, the nobles didn't notice them leaving? The Theon and the one who was vying to be king?
Yeah.
And then all their followers,
like,
while they're just doing the drowning ceremony, they're like,
all right, Theon,
like,
Yara,
where you guys going?
See you guys later.
Yeah. Oh, they took all the ships.
We're going to get Froyo.
Tuesday? Still, we're on for that, assuming your uncle doesn't kill you? Yeah.
Yeah, if they can sneak away with all the ships in like the 5 minutes you guys are doing the drowning ceremony, you're not going to win any battles.
I don't think they're going to anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so that was dramatic and a good scene, but there were some issues there.
Yeah. And it's we're gonna see. I know, because those ships are gonna be ready next week or the week after. Is time in the show, not so much in the books, but in the show, man, they really make time not mean anything.
Yeah.
Like Peter Baelish was just in the Vale, and now all of a sudden he's back at Winterfell. That's like 3 months of riding or something like that.
Right?
I mean, he said that the troops are at Moat Cailin. Moat Cailin to the wall is ridiculous. It's like going across America.
Still my favorite thing when you get all wrapped up in this stuff that isn't real. How do you know how far
It's real. We're reviewing it because I've seen the map. It's like as big as the rest of Westeros.
You saw the scale map?
Okay.
I have several maps
let's go on to
actually.
Littlefinger because we're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
So Littlefinger, for all of the verbal lashing that Sansa gave him, so what? Mission accomplished. He got exactly what he wanted. He planted the thought, go get the Tullys, because that was his plan.
I don't get what that plan is, though.
Well, we don't, but that's clearly his plan.
Yeah.
But she's going to go get the Tullys, and he put a little bit of doubt into her head about her brother. Also, mission accomplished because she didn't say that she met with Littlefinger. So he got everything he wanted, as he always does.
Did he? But he did tell her about He did tell her about Tully, or did he tell her about the Knights of the Vale?
He told her about the Knights, and she said no, she doesn't want them. Then he said you should go to your brother, who we don't even know if all that stuff is true about River Run. We honestly don't know. And so she is going to appeal to Brynden the Blackfish at River Run for the Tully forces.
River Run's where her mom's from.
Her mom's from originally, yeah.
So he didn't tell her that because he didn't want her to use it. He told her that because he did want her to use it, and now they are going to use it, which is going to
they could use it.
Be part of his plan in a way that obviously we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't think?
Although
she didn't tell Jon, you think because he planted that thing about half brother?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's what they implied. That's what they implied. Because Brienne said, "Why didn't you tell me? Apparently you don't trust them, right?"
Yeah.
And his attempt was to make sure that she doesn't trust him by saying half brother.
Yeah, and that's probably giving him 1/2 more than he actually has earned. From what we know.
Right. That's right. Well, it's not. It's her cousin, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, not have
and they're going out to round up families, right? That's where they were leaving.
Yes, I think so.
They're left to go talk to the small families, and they think they might have which the one
they're going to go to the Manderleys,
but they also,
which are in a city we haven't seen yet.
Didn't they think that they had some shot at the Karstarks?
Yeah. She thinks that they're going to be more loyal to the Starks.
The ones who brought Rickon in there, they wrote them off.
That's the Karstarks.
The Umbers.
No, that's the Umbers.
Oh, that's the Umbers.
They wrote the Umbers off. They thought maybe the
Umbers,
Karstarks was some possibility,
Yeah,
but
I don't know
mostly they're
about
going for the little ones.
You know who the Umbers have a deal with? Littlefinger. That's who they have a deal with. Remember, I had the theory that the Umbers have a
man.
deal that they're going to betray the Boltons, right? But they clearly don't have a deal with the Starks.
So you think Littlefinger went to the Umbers, was like, somehow they found Rickon. They're like, take this guy in.
Rickon went to them because the Umbers used to be the most loyal to the Starks.
He was like, kidnap him, take him to them, make sure that they don't kill him, and we will use that.
Right.
Littlefinger's like thinking, maybe tells the Umbers, whatever it is, I'm going to use that to get the...
Okay, so let's be clear. That's right. And let's be very clear about this, right? The person who wrote the note last episode to Jon Snow, come and see, right? My favorite note of all time, right? Now I'm absolutely convinced was not Ramsay Bolton. It was Littlefinger, okay? Based on something you told me off air, that was a theory that's going around, right? It's because, and I went back and checked it.
Yeah.
When he goes to give the Lord of the Vale, the young kid, the Falcon, Littlefinger says, come and see.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, that is not
I don't
an
know if I
accident.
buy it.
That is not a coincidence.
No, definitely, no question.
Okay.
100%.
100%,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he wrote the letter, and in order for him to write that letter, he's the one who gave Rickon, he made the deal with the Umbers to give Rickon to the Boltons.
Okay, so can we stop with the fucking nonsense about how Ramsay's a genius for writing the letter? He didn't write the letter, it would have been dumb. The letter is going to undermine Ramsay.
Okay, that's a minor point, but I hear you.
It's not a minor point. We spent like 17 minutes on it last week.
It could be both.
Yeah, but like I said,
That's
maybe thinks
true.
3 steps ahead, but Littlefinger thinks 17 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Right?
Good point.
And so that's why I say like Littlefinger is so much more important than Hodor, as much as I love Hodor for holding the door.
Hodor's not writing any letters.
But you got
Or they're
Littlefinger
short.
in this. You got plenty of Littlefinger.
That's true. But
Oh, no, keep going.
No, I'm just saying so that it's obvious that Littlefinger has orchestrated the entire thing. There is going to be some sort of battle there, and the winner is not going to be the Starks or the Boltons. At the end analysis, even if it's not in that moment, the winner is going to be Littlefinger. Okay.
Maybe. Hope not.
Because the whole thing is
my
orchestrated by
We completely forgot. We have the introduction of a new potentially major character.
Right. You mean Melisandre Jr.?
Yeah.
Or
Kinvara.
Rachel Weisz Jr.?
She totally looks like
look
Rachel
like
Weisz.
Rachel
Holy
Weisz.
shit,
Oh my
she
God.
does look. By the way, beautiful. But yeah, she looks like Rachel Weisz.
Yeah. And so so it would suggest that the Lord of the Light maybe onto something. Like maybe that's not all nonsense.
Look, they were implying that the Lord of the Light was the voice that he heard when his kibbles and bits were being thrown in the fire. I think he was hearing demons. That's what I think he was hearing.
But whatever it is, how do they know?
They don't know. How did they know? I don't know.
How did they know suggests some...
He told Tyrion, but Tyrion hasn't talked about it so far as we know.
Yeah, I don't think Tyrion...
No, they know, dude. They know. Lord of the Light brings people back from the dead.
That's
it's
true.
not like they have inconsequential powers.
But man, have we seen Varys unnerved to that degree?
Never.
No, nothing
so that
like
was
it.
like a move that jarred me almost as much as the Hodor scene, because you know how much I love Varys. I was
Yeah.
like, Varys, pull it together, dude. You're making it super obvious that she spooked you out.
Right.
And oh God, we've seen when you make alliances with the religious, not the best idea for you. And now she's gonna have all the peasantry underneath her.
So remind me why Varys hates the religious so much? Was that with the guy who...
He was a sorcerer.
So, but that's
which
not
is
really,
sort of separate. I think.
Has he ever had any
I think he doesn't,
with Lord of the Light, Varys? Or
I
no?
don't think that we know of. I think he is for rational stability, somewhat. I don't know. It just seems to fit in. Like he doesn't want.
He's the atheist
it's
of Game of
religion's
Thrones. Another
irrational.
reason why we love him, because he's the rational guy who's actually for peace and stability and justice.
Right. He's a regressive. That's clear. But he was. But how do you not be a believer a little bit after that conversation? A believer in something.
Maybe.
I mean, at least a believer in.
Yeah, and look, that to me is settled. There's enormous magic in the world, right?
Right. Yes.
Enormous.
Right.
I mean, people walk
You're
out
right.
of
I mean,
fires.
again,
The dragon eggs becomes dragon. You
They,
rise people from the dead. The only question is, does it mean anything? And the possibility is, no, there's just magic in the world, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that everything has a purpose.
Or that it's God.
The old gods or the new gods or the Lord of the Light has
That's
a
right.
plan.
Right. We have nuclear weapons. They have magic.
By the way,
right.
so far, the only group that doesn't seem to get any magic from the gods they worship seems to be the Seven. I don't think we've seen any magic out of them. But all the old gods
The
get
old
all these
gods,
powers.
Yeah, are some serious dudes.
Yeah.
I would imagine, Cenk, that I'm surprised that you didn't like this episode more, although I think in hindsight you will, because there were really great speeches in this episode.
Oh, go.
I mean, Daenerys to
Jorah.
Jorah.
Yeah, that was sad.
That was a nice speech. And
I loved what Jorah said,
moving
too.
speech.
Oh, someone pointed out, by the way, this is effectively the only pairing, I think, maybe there's one more, of characters that have had conversations and been together the entire
Yeah, right. They were
time,
together
all
at the
seasons.
start, and they're together now. You must become me, says Max von Sydow. Am I ready? No. That was
pretty
good
good.
stuff. There's two other really good speeches. Why can't I find them? What other good speeches were there?
Well, look.
I mean, that woman to Varys, the Melisandre Jr. to Varys, no question. She was Melisandre Jr. I can't. What was her name?
Kinvara,
Oh,
I
and
believe.
Theon's speech for Yara.
Oh, yeah.
That was good too.
Because you didn't know for sure if he
You didn't
might
know for
declare.
sure, right? She's looking at him like,
Yeah.
is he gonna?
That seems so different in the books. Read the books. They also left out a significant piece of magic that should have a big effect on the plot.
By the way, that actually, the fact that they have diverged so much is, I would have thought, oh no, don't diverge from the books, you'll screw it up. But actually, it's created something wonderful, which is that now, when I will go back and read the books, there'll be new things in there. It's not like I'm just rehashing, and I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Yeah.
But since the
There's
books
significant
are
changes.
significantly different, cool. It'll be things that'll be new to me.
Yeah.
Brienne gave a good speech to Sansa. Also, there was just there was a lot of.
I liked it.
A lot of that stuff didn't move me as much as it should, I guess. But what did? But I like the sayings, "Come and see," and for the watch and all
I
that.
can't
stuff.
believe
the
we missed that.
door.
Did he really said come and see to that?
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
All right.
Yeah. And no, in this one it is hold the door. Like I will use that reference a lot
question. Yeah.
because you know why? Because for a guy holding the door, that sucks that that's your role, right? But you need a guy every once in a while to hold the door.
You know who's holding the door right now? Bernie Sanders.
Oh, right. Last thing.
He was
John-
supposed
pressed
to be,
up against
He was
that
supposed
thing.
to be Jon Snow. Don't make him Hodor now.
Now the DNC's clawing through the door.
How about and your
Debbie
own
Wasserman
speech
Schultz
was really
gets him.
good. I killed him. You know what? I apologize for not killing him 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
he's
like
the
that was-
Trump of Westeros.
Totally. Yeah, that's right.
And he doesn't give any fucks.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Where are my nephew and my niece? Let's go murder them.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up system.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get what you vote for.
But that's why the Ironborn never accomplish anything, because all they ever do is kill each other,
Yeah.
right? They kill everything in their path, but that's like the Mongols. They had a nice run, but not organized enough to sustain it.
Sucks to live there.
Good humor with the play. The play was great. I loved seeing
funny.
the play. I loved that sort of Shakespearean.
Seemed authentic.
And that's what in Shakespeare, that's what they did then. They would do plays about recent
Yeah.
tragedies and recent royal stuff. So I thought that was good, and I loved Ed's line, but I'm not the Lord Commander. No, I am. Close the door.
Yeah, there's like 7 people. They make the Iron Islands look heavily populated.
Totally, yeah. We got this. We're fine. Yeah,
Close the door, then hold the door.
that's right.
You know who doesn't get enough credit for holding the door? I'm not gonna remember his name. It was the guys of the Night's Watch that fought the giant in a tunnel in that big fight scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
fucking held
those
the door,
guys
man.
that died. Those guys held the door.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
What I want
All
to know is how Hodor's mom slept with a giant. Is Bran gonna go back and watch that?
Yeah. Once in a while, he's just.
What are you doing, Bran? Nothing. All right, good stuff. Obviously, very anxious for halfway done with season 6.
Already.
Halfway done.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.
Hold the door.
Hodor.